Razor Beyond, all you be on this track. Razor Beyond, all you be on this track.
Yeah. Let's get this thing started.
All stand, please. Oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes. This honorable court now stands adjourned, sine die. God save the state and this honorable court.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You may be seated up in this courthouse. Shout out to the Baby Mama Terrorist Bounty Hunters. I'm your host, Mr. Palmer. And we're going to have a good dialogue today. I know we're supposed to talk about the Baby Mama Terrorist part 2, you know, trying to do the petition to get rid of Kevin Samuels. But let me tell you what happened this morning. This morning, I was on my Instagram, and I actually hit up George Bruno, right? So I hit him up on Instagram and left him inbox. One of the brothers on Instagram was like, you should try to do something with him, which that was my intention anyway. So I reached out to him. So I said, okay, I'm gonna reach out to him. Hopefully he can respond back to me when he can. And hopefully he ain't got a bunch of people in his inbox. So I'm like, I'm gonna set up for today with the Baby Mama Terrorist. He responded back. And I said, okay, I'm willing to work around your schedule. I usually go at 1 o'clock, you know what I'm saying? But I go around anybody's schedule, you know what I'm saying? I want somebody special on my platform. So he was like, how's the day at 5 Eastern? I said, all good with me, sir. Let's make this thing happen. So, and I definitely appreciate it. I wasn't expecting to be that fast, that quick, anything, but I'm glad he did. So I like to move that to the side. You know, Baby Mama Terry, that's the everyday lifestyle for them that it'll never be a finisher with that. So the reason why you see the title self-improvement, what I always tell y'all, we have to change the laws in our minds in order to make change. We have to, once again, I always say this over and over and over, we have to take accountability. We have to fix ourselves mentally, physically and spiritually. Now I'm adding financially. You know, we definitely have to think about us first. We got to get ourselves in order. We can't sit back and just point the finger at everybody else. We got to check ourselves. We got to fix ourselves. Definitely on the mental aspect, definitely on the physical aspect, definitely spiritually, even financially. We have to get ourselves in order. And I say this all the time because it comes to a point when you wonder, why did you stay long in this situation? Why did you decide to deal with this person? Why did you endure the bullshit you was enduring for all these years? Why did you stay long when you know you should have? You know, why did you even have kids with this person? Why did you marry this person? You know, when you knew or you saw signs that it wasn't right. So that's why I say we have to get ourselves in order before we try to, you know, flourish and make change. Because if you say, okay, well, I'm gonna go to another country, so you leave America, go to the DR, but you still got that same mindset, then what you think you're gonna do over there? You're gonna do just as much damage you did over here. So definitely have to get ourselves in order. And that's one of the reasons why I want to talk to George. Yeah, I don't know. It just took me right out, to me right out, and locked me out, and got me back in. So I don't think they're gonna like this one, which that's good. If they don't like it, I love it. So, but like I was saying, the reason why I want to have y'all talk to Mr. George Bruno, because he's been a counselor for over 30 years, and he's also a motivational speaker. How I met him was watching him on Coach Greg Adams' show, and he interviewed him. That's when I saw him and got my respect. Got a lot of knowledge when it comes to getting yourself in order and not trying to stay somewhere that you know you shouldn't be. You've been there all these years, and also he actually cut hair part time as well, and he's also part of the Manosphere. He was actually at the convention with Donovan Sharp. He was there. I don't know if he spoke, but 9 out of 10 he did. But he was there, and like I say, he's one of the people that's doing the Lord's work. And I'm actually surprised he even came on, you know, to show to even do this dialogue with me, and I really appreciate it because, you know, some people get high to the top and they figure like, oh well, you just started, you new. When actually I'm not new. I'm just new to the YouTube. So I definitely appreciate Mr. Bruno for coming on, and then coming on so damn quick. Wasn't even expecting that. So and I talked to a few people behind the scenes today. They were like, yeah, George Bruno. Oh, I can't wait to check this out. Yeah. And this is why I tell y'all, we as men of all colors, all races, have to come together to make change. Can't no one particular group do it. Even when it comes to this child support, when it comes to alienation, father's rights, and everything, ain't no one group gonna do it. And that's why I tell y'all, when it comes to alienation, the divorce rates, and child support and family court, they don't care about your color. You come up in there, the only thing they see is green, and they see you a man. That's an opportunity to get that money, make your visitor, keep you out the child's life. So that's why I say, and I want people of all diversity to come on my platform. I even got the point now I got women coming on the platform. You know what I mean? The ones that agree, the ones that don't agree, but we dialogue as women and men. You know, I let you hear your take, and we go from there. We have to learn from all aspects. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, I present you with the good brother, George Bruno, up in here. What's going on, Mr. Bruno?
It's good to see you. Thanks for having me on.
Oh man, I appreciate it, man. I'm actually kind of nervous for the first time. You know, somebody your stature, man, coming on here, man. Like I was telling everybody, like I said, when I first saw you, you was on Coach Greg Adams, a very, very good brother, and he asked me to have me on the show in the first of this year. Very good. You know, but I want you, because I don't know if everybody know who you are here, but if you could tell them, you know, who you are and what you do, and let them know what's up.
Yeah, well, I'm a coach. I've worked with people for over 35 years in the areas of life, love, and career. I left seminary in 1984 when I was studying for the ministry to go to graduate school and get my master's in education with a concentration in counseling. I spent many years doing clinical work, I was director of a psychiatric clinic. I was healthcare administrator in the 4th largest prison in the United States, did a lot of work in corrections. I also have my family's trade of cutting hair. My mother and father cut hair. I'm the guy that believes that every man should have a profession and a trade defined as something you can do with your hands. If something fails, one job fails, you can always make money. There's no such thing as a man that can't make money who has a trade. So, so I cut hair part-time. It's something that I love to do. Every man needs to learn something, whether it be welding or auto mechanics or construction or anything that he can do with his hands. Something, as the old people used to say, something industrious. But mentally, my profession is counseling and coaching.
Okay.
More lately, coaching, because it focuses on the future, whereas counseling, a lot of it focuses on the past and why you are the way you are. I really don't care. In coaching, I don't care why you are the way you are. What I care about is the future and what you can be and helping you get there. So that's a little.
Let me ask you, said something that I always tell people trade. Now, you know, when I was coming up, they always said trade was the American way, was trade and entrepreneurship. What's your take on how society is telling you to go to college and get you a degree? And I don't knock nobody getting a degree if it's a career that you have to do. I understand. But now it's like they took the trades out of school and they telling you to go to college, get a degree to get in debt to work for him or to work for her. What's your take on that, on how it used to be or how it is now with that?
Well, you know, it's kind of funny. I've never seen a tradesperson get laid off. What I see is like in the unemployment line, there's a lot of college educated people.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if you can't turn wrenches in an automotive shop, you can do it in your own driveway. If I work at a barbershop or a salon that closes down, I can cut hair in my garage.
Exactly.
So I think that it's great that every man learn a trade. I think it's necessary. When I was in high school many years ago in the 70s, people who didn't go to college, they said, well, they're not college material. And I'm like, what the heck does that mean, not college material? Well, it just so happens that you go to get your car fixed and it's $90 an hour.
Yeah.
Have a plumber come to your house to unclog a drain. It's $200 before he walks in the door. So who's making the money now? I'm a huge proponent of learning a trade, even if you do that trade only one day a week.
Exactly. And you know, that's the sad part about it. If you look at the people with the feminist ideology, I call them baby mama terrors, they will laugh at you because you dressed up in a khaki suit, dirty, but you're a plumber and they got a degree making $40,000, but you out there actually a plumber making $130,000. And that stigma is that I got to have a degree on the wall to be successful, which I was taught that going to college do not make you successful. It's not guaranteed. What's your take on that?
Well, like I said, most of the people in the unemployment lines today are college graduates. That's all I have to say. Unless it's like a STEM education. You know, STEM education is, you know, science, engineering, mathematics. What is the other one? Science, technology, engineering, and math. I mean, or medicine. You obviously need college. You obviously need to be educated for that and certified and licensed and this kind of stuff. But everything else, if you just get a college catalog and you look at the list of majors, I just keep thinking, what a waste of time and money that is.
I did it. Yeah, it is a waste of time. Mm-hmm. I want to give a shout out to XL Pro for the $5 Cash App. Salute to show and guest. Appreciate you, my brother, as always. Appreciate you to the fullest. Now, I was looking at a couple of your videos and I saw one where you were saying that, and I want people to let this sink in because I say it all the time. One of my mistakes was staying in a relationship long as I should have, which I knew I shouldn't have did it. But one of my reasons was, you know, the kids for one. For two, I'm like, I don't know if the green is gonna be green on the other side. And you know, I'm used to being here and just used to dealing with the bullshit. So let's talk about that. You did a video on that.
Yeah, that was called "Do You Overstay Everything?" And
Right.
that's people who just stay too long in everything they do. They stay too long in a residence. They stay too long in relationships. They stay too long everywhere. And that basically is a lack of decisiveness. Decisiveness means your yes means yes, your no means no. In that video I talked about, after I got divorced, I moved to an apartment that was 1 mile from my marital home. I only meant to stay there a year or two at the most. I ended up staying there 9 years because I got comfortable. So everything you want, like I've been saying this for a long time, comfort is your enemy. And everything that you want is outside your comfort zone. Every single thing, it doesn't matter who you are, you want to force a little bit of discomfort on yourself. In other words, you know, if I was going to the gym and working on biceps and curling 50 pounds and it was easy, and I just kept doing 50 pounds forever, you know, my sets with 50 pounds for the next 10 years, I would not be growing. I would not be challenging. You need, what do the personal trainers say? They call it progressive overload. You need to add another plate on the bar. And that's how muscles grow. And that's how we grow as human beings, is we put ourselves in situations that force us to grow. We get outside of our comfort zone. Many times we are put outside that comfort zone, not because of our own choice. Someone puts us there. And the reality is you have a choice once you are put there. And that is, okay, I'm up for this challenge. It's going to make me better, or it's going to make you bitter. Your choice. Nobody makes you angry. Nobody makes you bitter. Nobody does anything to you. You allow them to make you bitter. You allow them to make you angry. You have control over your emotions, much more control than you think. And when we say things like, well, you make me so angry, what you're really saying is, I'm allowing you to make me angry.
Right.
So we have to learn to rephrase statements when we're talking about our emotions.
And that's what I tell the people in here. You got to be, as men, definitely, you got to be thinkers and not reactors. That's definitely a good narrative. Definitely got to be thinkers and not reactors, because a lot of our reaction has caused us to be set up for failure. And now you say you was divorced. So how long was you married?
Well, we were together. We knew each other for over 20 years.
Okay.
For over 20 years. And you ever hear some people say they ruined it by getting married? I kind of feel that way when I look back on it. Now that was almost 20 years ago. So I've been a single guy for 20 years. I know some people, you know, there are people who get together, they date a long time, they don't go to the altar, they just kind of put up with each other, but it kind of works. There's it functions, and then they get married, and then all the trouble starts, and they ruin it by getting married. So, yeah.
So, okay, let me ask you this. Do you felt, since you say, you know, sometimes you could be in a relationship too long, do you felt you was in the marriage for too long, or you felt when it was a done deal that it was at the right time?
Well, the reality is I did not choose to end my marriage. I was not the one who ended it.
Okay.
My wife ended the marriage, and I tried to save the marriage. And I have a phrase that my audience has heard 1,000 times. And in my coaching, I like to say I'd rather save the man than save the marriage, because when you save the man, the marriage might stand a chance.
I understand. That's crazy. So let me ask you this. So when you went, you try to, well, we already know that the divorce rate of women is 72%, 78% initiated by women.
Yeah.
Is that, I think 78%?
It's
yeah.
up.
It's way over 50%. So with that being said, you didn't have to deal with child support, did you?
I made my last child support payment on June I don't know. I think it was like June 11th of this year.
No man is exempt when it comes to child support. So she initiated divorce. She wanted a divorce. She's been married 20 years, and you still had to pay child support.
Let me put it this way. And it's not that I don't love my children.
It ain't about that. It ain't about love. We know you love your kids.
Right. And I would do anything for them.
Right.
If you want to keep things real,
yeah.
A lot of the money that us men give to women through child support is used to get their hair done, get their nails done, make a car payment, go on vacations. Let's get real.
Yes, sir. Now, I was surprised. I didn't know you. I figured you probably was married. I was surprised that you said you was paying child support, because I mean, like you said, you've been married for 20 years. So I'm assuming your kids grown. You ain't got to deal with all that. But I see, unfortunately, that even you was in the same predicament as a lot of us, and it's due to failing relationship or failing divorce, or they figure, oh well, I don't want to be with you no more for whatever it is, and I got mine, and I get more out of you. Let me ask you this. It didn't affect your visitation, because usually with a lot of men, we fight for equal parenting, but unfortunately when it comes to this court system, all they care about is child support. So it's child support every other weekend, if that, or you just had to pay child support. It wasn't really no issue with you getting your kids, or was you in the same predicament as a lot of us?
No. The reality is, when you're in a contentious divorce, when a man is and this is not a slam women session. I'm not here. But the reality is, a man just wants to see his kids. A woman wants to destroy the man. And the easiest way to do it is in court.
And that's,
nobody ever talks about these judges. Judges, let me tell you about judges. Judges are politicians. They're elected positions, and they get scorecards from a judge gets a scorecard from all kinds of groups. And a judge's number one job is not to deliver justice, but to get reelected. Period. There is no other purpose for a judge. No other purpose. So I'll never forget my first time going to get my kids for the weekend. And I'm talking, this is, 25 years ago. We're talking a long time ago. And knock on the door. No one is there. No one is there. So I make a phone call, and I say, yeah, this is my night to pick up the kids. Where are they? I'm at the door. Nothing. A few minutes later, I call again. Hey, it's me. And you got to realize that, a year earlier, it was, hi, honey, it's me. Now it's, hi, it's me. I'm here to get the kid. By the fourth call, I'm like, listen, I'm at the front door right now. God damn it. Where are the kids? So the first time I went into court, they had a cassette player back when there was cassette players. They pop a cassette in, put it against the microphone. What's the first thing they played? God damn it, where are the fucking kids? This is my night with the kids. I'm tired of this bullshit. You see, Your Honor, this man is violent. He's loud. He's a scary man. And I'm like, holy crap. They didn't play the first 3 phone messages where I was politely asking, but I was getting yanked around. I was getting baited to overreact. And I didn't know what that was all about. I was new to that whole world. I thought it was honorable to fight for your kids and get mad when you can't see them, but apparently not. So, and I learned, I'll never forget my lawyer literally grabbing my leg under the table and like holding me down. And the lawyer would say to me as we were walking down the hallway, saying, just remember, the courtroom is a place of respect. The courtroom. And I'm like, okay. So if you raise your voice 1 decibel, you sound a little bit like you're angry. You got an anger problem. You got to go for counseling. You got all this, like, it's Like they make you out to be the damn devil. She sheds a tear. She sheds a tear. She sheds one tear in front of the judge, and the judge says, let's take a 20-minute break and we'll come back. Okay.
Play victim.
I couldn't see my kids. I'd never been told that I couldn't see my kids. And it was hurtful. It was hurtful. And I grieved. And I kind of cried. I'm like, I really want to see my kids. I miss my kids. And what is the judge? The same judge who an hour earlier says, oh, let's take a little break because, we want her to kind of catch her breath. He says to my lawyer, counselor, talk to your client. He seems to be out of control. There's a double standard between men and women. But I'm not here to bring all bad news. There's eventually I'm going to show you some good news for fathers when we, further on in the broadcast.
Okay, definitely. I want to give a shout out to Jessica X for the 999 super sticker. I appreciate you, sister. I actually reached out to Jessica X about coming on the live, so hopefully she'll respond back in due time. Jamie said, who is the guy? This is George Bruno. He's in the manosphere. He's a motivational speaker, counselor. He's been all over in the manosphere. And he's basically hey, I'm surprised about that one because I wasn't expecting you. Divorce, yeah. Child support, nah. But that proves my point. What I be telling people on my platform everywhere else, that no man is exempt when it comes to child support alienation. And it's not, yeah, right. And it's not just a black thing.
The judge tells you that child support and custody are two different things.
Yes.
Two completely different things. They separate them. The judge will tell you, quiet, sir, we're not here to talk about that. I would say something like, yeah, but I haven't seen my kids in 3 weeks. Quiet, sir, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about your support. I was in court with a guy that lost his job. I remember, because this is what happens in most courtrooms. It's not a private setting. Courtrooms are public domain. So you're in there with every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's fighting for his kids and whatever. And you end up taking the stand, and you're at the front desk, and she's at the other desk, and there's the judge up front. And there's 100 other people in the courtroom listening to everything. And you just never thought for a minute that all your dirty laundry would be put out publicly like that. Yeah. It just blows your mind. So literally, there was a guy whose case, his docket was ahead of mine. He had lost his job and couldn't pay child support. And he was there for contempt of court. He had to pay, I don't know, $600 a month. And this was 17 years ago. And he says, but I lost my job, Your Honor. He says, I'm looking really hard for a job, and it was beyond my control. The judge says, that's not my problem. He says, if you want to lower your child support, you need to petition the court to lower, but until then, you pay your $600 a month. But Your Honor, he goes, 30 days. And he goes, Your Honor, I lost my job. It wasn't my fault. 60 days. The guy went to jail for 6 months. And his lawyer just kept trying to hold, shut up. He's just going to keep giving you more days in jail. 6 months in jail. Now listen to this. He's in jail. And guess what? He's still responsible for child support.
Interest. Back child support. Yeah, they don't care. It's a game. It's a game to them.
The judge's response literally was, that's not my problem.
Right. Right. And this happens all the time. And I'm like I said, I'm surprised you that you went through the child. I'm not surprised, but I'm surprised because that ain't what I thought you expecting you to say. But I'm glad you said it because a lot of people sit back and say, oh, well, this black man is on child support because they don't want to be fathers. The white man don't have no issue with that because he's an alpha male. He knows how to run his house and he don't have the problem. I'm like, what are you talking about? They on child support the most. They alienate the most.
Yeah.
So what do you mean? So I'm glad you said that, because that once again proves my narrative, my point. That's why I do what I do, come out these baby mama terrorists, because it's not about the kids. They do not love their kids. They know they can run to the court. They know they can get their handouts and government daddy's blessing, and they're gonna set that man up for failure. They don't care what color you are. They don't care who you are. They do not care. And the laws is definitely gender biased.
Listen, the sheriffs are in that courtroom, or whoever the law enforcement guys are in there, and they're all usually minimum 6'4", and they're ready to slap the cuffs on everybody. Yeah. Anybody, doesn't matter what color you are, doesn't matter what age you are. And, you know, a smart man will just turn around, put his hands behind his back, and make it happen. They don't care. They don't care because he's probably paying child support too, most likely.
Oh yeah. I know a lot of sheriffs and police officers. They work for the system. They on child support and they get treated the same. They get treated exactly the same. I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Wilfred 73 for the $20 cash app. He said this shit affects all men, all color. Yeah, 100%. 100%. See, if a woman get on child support, yeah, it's a select few to pay, but they can opt out. It's in the laws. They do not have to pay child support. That's why they don't get the same penalty that we go through. They would not go to jail. And if you, sir, was to get custody of your kids, they was underage, and you want to put your wife on child support, they're gonna say, why you want to do that? Why now? And you got to understand, she got issues. She's struggling, blah, blah, blah. I gave you your child. What more do you want? Seriously. So I want to hear the good part. I know you said everything went all bad. I want to hear the good. We got to hear a little good, because a lot of us don't have a happy ending or a better ending or a good ending. Let's hear something good.
Yeah, I know a guy who got divorced, and they have a daughter. And when it was the woman's time to take the stand, she talked about, my daughter this, my daughter that. And the judge stopped her and said, your daughter, you keep saying my daughter, my daughter, my daughter. What, did you have this child just wake up one day and that child was in your arms?
Right, Virgin Mary. Yeah, Virgin Mary.
Yeah. Was it an immaculate conception? Didn't it take your husband to create this child? And this guy, he was just fighting for visitation. At that moment, the judge said, from now on, you are to refer to the daughter as our daughter, not my daughter. Do you understand? Woman, said, yes. The judge looked over at the man and said, sir, what do you have to say? And he says, Your Honor, I love our daughter. Of course, he learned. I love being a father to our daughter, and our daughter needs her dad. At that moment, the judge gave full custody to the father, made the mother pay child support.
That's good. Good to hear. Good to hear. Definitely good to hear. Well, last thing I'm gonna ask you about your situation, and we'll jump to something else. And I hope it didn't happen. Like you say, you was fighting to see your kids going back and forth to court, and gender bias and everything. Your children wasn't manipulated by the mother, was they?
Terribly. Parental alienation syndrome, 100%.
Wow. Okay.
Children are the weapon and the prize.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You are rewarded with your kids. You are punished with your kids.
Wow. I'm sure. I'm assuming they grown now, though, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I assume they out of that phase, or still the same.
It takes time, because when you've been brainwashed most of your childhood, the reality is you think your dad's a bad guy. So I hear from them every now and then. These wounds last forever in a child's mind and their heart. Now, boys and girls act different. Now, my daughter just loves me. She texts me every day. We have a
That's good.
chit chat back and forth. The boys, different story. I got to beg almost to get it out of them. So what I learned how to do many, many years ago was not be breathing down their neck or placing guilt trips on them about their dad. And the reality is they were manipulated for many, many years. And there's nothing I'm going to do to change that.
Facts.
So the most popular message, most popular text that I give my kids today is, I love you and I believe in you. That's it. So if I died today, my kids would be able to say, my dad loved me and believed in me.
Yes, and that right there, and that's why I tell the men, you got to keep your veins cold. You have to keep your veins cold, because that's one of the most hurtful things to destroy man. If it's not their pockets, it's the child. It's them two things. It's them two things. We could lose a wife, we could lose a girlfriend, we could lose everything. But when it comes to our livelihood, which is our finances, and the love of our lives, which is our kids, this is what we go through. No man is exempt, and you just never know this. I want to spec in Mr. Bruno to say, child support, alienated, manipulation, I don't really talk to him like that. And you know what? When I did an interview with Coach Greg Adams it was done on the first of the year, and this what made me come with we have to change the laws in our mind, because it was so many brothers on there who was red pill, they MGTOW, living a frigid lifestyle. When me and him talked about child support and why I do what I do, and shout out to Coach Greg Adams, because he's one of the main people who put me on this platform, who had a big platform. I saw him rise up, and he support and love what I do.
Good guy.
Yes, sir. Good guy. He went through it as well, and he talks about it off and on, but he always talks about living fragile lifestyle. And he tell people, hey, come to Mr. Palmer, talk about this. But when I talked to, it was so many men coming in there on when they coming in the chat talking and telling their story. It was so many men who was red pill, so many men who was MGTOW was saying, I'm going through this now, or I went through it, through the child support and divorce and stuff like that. I'm like, why people in the manosphere don't talk about this? So that's when I said we all had to get ourselves in order. We could tell each other, don't marry a fat woman. We could tell us, don't marry a woman with fake hair. Don't get married. But you don't talk about why we in this situation, why we decided to go red pill, why we decided to live a frigid lifestyle, because this is one of the reasons why, and it need to be out there. Men have to tell their stories. And the problem is, us as men, we won't talk about that. We talk about anything else, but we won't talk about that situation. And that we have to stop doing. We have to tell our stories and bring awareness for the youth, especially our boys, not to go through the same situation, because it's steady going on and on and on and on. And I tell people, the course is not going to change. The law is not going to change, but we could change the laws within ourselves. And if we do that, then it'll be less men having kids with the wrong woman. And I'm telling men to definitely investigate who you're dealing with. Definitely investigate. Know their family. Know who their father is. They got one. Know who their mommy is. You gotta know that. Ask them, do they believe in child support? Ask them, do you believe in feminism? You have to really investigate instead of say, oh, she got a body. She look good. That ass though. No, we gotta think with this and not this. And that's what I want men to do. So that's why I'm talking to more women now than I ever had as well, because we all as a whole got to change the laws in our minds. So that's why I'm on that path, because you worrying about the laws and all that is not going to change. But I still spread awareness about these baby mama terrorists and these, I call them simple forces, and these no good judges. So that actually triggered me to start talking on that aspect. And my goal is to start doing public speaking in due time. So How was you able to? Well, let me read this comment right quick. I want to give a shout out to Essential Entities. Shout out to my brother from New York for the $14.99 donation. Thank you, Mr. Palmer, for being so real with the truth. Salute you and the good man and women doing God's work. Appreciate you, my brother, to the fullest. How was you able to continue to live your life and hold your own and still live your life? Because a lot of men I talk to, I tell them you have to keep your veins cold. You have to live your life to the fullest. I said, if your kids decide to come back or start to see the light, do you want them to see you, down and out, sickly and everything, or you want them to see you on a high up, looking good, building, you're working, you got your own thing, you're doing a trade, you still living your life to the fullest? Which one do you want? They let what's going on set them up for failure. Somewhere they can't get out. That's why so many suicide rates amongst men when it comes to alienation and child support. What did you do to keep yourself growing and going?
Well, the first thing is take care of the body as much as possible. You got to stay healthy. Your mind is part of your body. So keep your body healthy as you can, and keep your thoughts positive. Don't moan and groan to your kids about the situation. I can't say that enough. As much as you want to do what the mom is doing, turning the kids against you, you want to just fight back by turning the kids against her and saying some things about her. That never works.
I try. It do not. It's a waste of time. I got sick behind that. Yeah. I got sick behind that bullshit. So no, it's a waste.
Yeah. Don't. I started my custody and child support battle before there was even the internet. Mm-hmm. So the reality is now that there's the internet, everyone's bleeding online. I tell people all the time, stop bleeding online. No one wants to hear your pain. No one gives a shit. Nobody cares. So you have to care about you, because no one else is going to do that. No one cares if you pay your bills or not. No one cares if you cry yourself to sleep because you really love your kids. No one cares about that.
Nope.
There's no sympathy for a man in this world. You want to feel sorry for yourself? Go ahead and do it. Take 10, 15 minutes, cry into your pillow, punch the pillow, punch the mattress. Don't be punching walls. Don't be slamming doors, anything like that. Turn it on and then turn it off, but get rid of it somehow. I like to tell men all the time, don't deny your emotions, just delay them.
Exactly. No, 100%. And that's why I tell men also, when you hear a lot of feminists, baby mama Terry say, oh, you must be bitter because I'm talking about child support and alienation. And I'm like, well, definition of bitter means something when you done unjustly. It ain't just the smell and the taste. It means someone who is done unjustly. I said, so I have the right to be bitter. But what I tell men, you don't get bitter to the point where you're in a sunken space you can't get out of, to where you don't want to do for yourself, you don't want to be clean, where you want to eat, you want to get drunk, you want to get high. That's what you want. You don't want to do. You have that right to be bitter. You have the right to be angry. You have the right to be hurt and sad. But like you just said, you can't put yourself in that sunken space. And I say it all the time. Like one thing you say you definitely got to keep your mind exercised and healthy. And I see you physically fit. How old are you, sir?
60.
And I seen you work out, and I see you keep yourself healthy. What did you do to keep your body looking youthful like a 40-year-old?
Let me put it this way. There was a point where I gave up and I got lazy. I remember ordering a pizza, and from the sofa in my TV room, I could see the front door. Mm-hmm. And I would leave the door open just so I could have the glass door, and the Domino's pizza guy would come by. I was too lazy to get and too depressed to get off the couch. He'd ring the doorbell and say, come on in. He'd bring 2 boxes of pizza. I'd say, put it right there. And then I would tip him. I was too lazy to get up and go to the door, too depressed. So, when you order Papa John's or whatever online, they say, would you like to order a second pizza for $5? I'm like, heck, why not?
Yeah.
Bring it. And then you go to check out and they're like, would you like to order wings? You're like, what the heck? And then they stop you like 3 or 4 times on your way out to check out and pay for everything, on the app. And next thing you know, the guy's delivering 2 pizzas, garlic knots, chicken wings and dipping sauce, and a liter of Coke, 2-liter bottle of Coke, and then I would drink 3, 4, 5 beers, eat a whole pizza, and chicken wings and all that stuff. And that's a wake-up call. You can't do that very long and be fit and be healthy and be normal. But I did go through that phase where there was depression and, some dark times and, that kind of thing.
So basically you was overweight at one point as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I was definitely overweight. I lost 35 pounds. I'm working on losing some more and keep my health intact, okay. Well, let me ask this. So I'm assuming you get a lot of men you talk to that's depressed, hurt, maybe because of the divorce, maybe because of a failed relationship, maybe because even child support and not seeing their kids. What is your suggestion to them to get themselves in order?
Well, number one, you got to take care of yourself. They tell you on the airplane, put the oxygen mask on yourself before you try to help anybody else. And the reality is, unless you are getting oxygen yourself, you can't help anyone else. You'll pass out. So in life, make yourself healthy. You can't be a good father to your children if you're not healthy.
Facts. Facts. I want to give a shout out to Anthony McClinton for the $20 donation. Mr. Palmer, here's what the judge said to me. What caught in your net is yours. Mac. I bet he said more than that. Shout out to you, my brother, because these judges tell you anything. They don't care. I had one tell me, I don't believe in equal pay at the time. Oh, okay. Shout out to you, my brother. Want to give a shout out to Red Pill Mike for the $50 donation. One of the most profound moments in a man's life where he walks away a smarter man is when he makes a bad decision, a bad business decision. The modern day family court system has destroyed the sanity of marriage and distorted it as a bad business decision. And that's exactly what it is. Shout out to you, Red Pill Mike. Appreciate you, my brother. That's the truth. That's one thing. Even I had the lead attorney on here a couple of months ago, and he's been an attorney for 20 years, family law, family court in Atlanta. And even he said that you got to think, do you want to make a bad investment, or do you want to save your money and do what you got to do for you? And he even said it, that you got the political judge. These judges are psychologically momentum. Their goal is to get child support, keep the father away, because that's more money they can have. $51 billion business. It's probably more than that. I was told it was $100 billion, but from what I seen, it was $51 billion. They don't care about no family structure. That's why a lot of men now are living a frigid lifestyle. That's why in the Black community, only 51% of men are unmarried and childless, because they don't want to go through the headache. They don't want to go through this because they see a lot of us been there, done that, or currently going through it. And that's why I'm telling men, think first and choose wisely. And it's scary. It's definitely scary. I want to give a shout out to MPI for the $101 donation. Appreciate you, my brother. Life is good. It's up from here. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for listening to me cry about my baby mama Ted's problem. LOL. Hashtag do for self. Hashtag self-improvement. Facts. I appreciate you, my brother, to the fullest. MPI came a long way. And like you were saying, do trade. This man went from the bottom all the way to doing trade. He changed the laws in his mind. The Cash App, ATL Streets one, know the Cash App is right on the bottom left. $ BGN27. That's the Cash App. That just blew my mind. Brother sent it $101. I feel good. I appreciate y'all gonna help me buy my couch real soon, man. I'm a high value deadbeat. Because what I do, I'm a deadbeat. I run for child support. I don't have none, so I just tell them I sleep on the couch for a living. That's what I do. So I understand, like you said, you was in the Sunger space. You had to get yourself in order. Did you seek counseling or therapy for yourself, or you kind of just did it for yourself?
Oh, I did it for myself. I mean, it's interesting because I'm a helper.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I do for a living.
Right.
And you can't apply, I work with men all the time, but you can't apply that stuff to your own life. You can't be objective. So I needed an objective source of sanity, clarity, and reason. So I went to a counselor because I was dealing with some anger, and literally I was disgusted with the legal system to the point where it would just anger me. And my anger led to memory issues. Literally, I was so fuming, freaking angry that I would forget where I put my keys. And I would tear the house apart just looking for my keys. And there they were, like on the kitchen table or on the countertop or something like that. And I saw how destructive anger can be. It can short circuit your brain. So one of the biggest things you have to do is tend to your anger. You got to work out, you got to walk, you got to talk to people, you got to do something, because if you internalize all of that indignation, you will never be so insulted as the day that there's no street that can insult you as much as the courtroom. Doesn't matter.
Oh, you brought
nobody will punk you as bad as a judge will, and they can get away with it.
You right about that. Well, let me ask you this: when you was going through your, I call it a drought. When you was going through your drought, did you have support from your family, or because I know some people say, well, my mom went against me when it came to that because she sided with her, and a lot of people turned it back. In my situation, my family supported me, but I had friends who I thought was my friends turn it back on me, listen to her, even though they knew what the truth was.
Yeah, I had I would call my mother.
Okay.
And I would talk to her, and moms internalize this stuff. They feel the pain of their kids, and my mom was feeling my pain. And one day I called the house, my parents' house. My dad picked up the phone. I was talking to him, and he says, "Hey, I got some advice for you." I said, "What's that?" And he's not a big advice giver. He says, "When you need to complain or cry or have you're going through a hard time," he goes, "You know what? Talk to me." I said, "Okay." My dad never said that to me. He says, "Because it's getting to your mother. Your mother's starting to feel it." He goes, "And I'm sensing it, that your anxiety is just transferring over to her. Your sadness is transferring over to her." And I think my story, a mom's not going to say, "Hey, man, I don't want to hear this stuff."
True.
Talk to someone else. They'll just listen and listen.
True.
And you think, "Oh,
True.
My mom's being a good sport." Your mom is absorbing all of that, and it's hurting her. Moms don't want to. An adult mom does not want to see her adult son hurt. Doesn't matter. I remember my dad. My dad was an incorrigible kind of guy and always in and out of the court system. And it got to the point where my grandfather said, "I'm not going to court anymore. I'm not bailing you out. Forget that." My grandmother kept going to court. And of course, this is back in the 1940s and 50s.
Right.
And my grandfather stopped going to court every time my dad got in trouble. But my grandmother was always there. Moms can't turn off that mom thing, But my dad was telling me, because of that, my mom was internalizing a lot of my pain, and she was absorbing it, and it was making her depressed. And she hated to see, like, if I called and I was crying or something, and if you can't cry in front of your mom, then something's up. Okay.
That's true. That's true.
There ain't a lot of people that I cry in front of. I'll tell you that. As a matter of fact, nobody. I don't cry in front of anyone. And I rarely do cry. But I will tell you,
same here.
My mom, she feels that. Moms feel the tears of their adult sons, and my dad said, "You know what, talk to me from now on, because your mom, it's getting to her." And I'll never forget that talk that I had with him.
Yeah. And the thing is that we don't realize what we putting on that individual, whether it's your significant other, your mother, your father. You just don't realize, because all you just trying to do is have somebody to talk to and somebody that's going to tell you the truth. Yeah. And that's what I went through. I was actually messing up my foundation. the people that love me, I'm cutting them off. I'm not, and not even by being mean and angry, but being quiet and not saying nothing. And because I don't want to cause no problem, but I still was causing a problem. I didn't want to go out, didn't want to do anything, and I was in a sunken space to the point where I told you my blood pressure all over the place, got sick, and I eventually had my own wake up call and been on that changed the laws of my mind syndrome ever since. It's definitely unfortunate that that a lot of us men go through this, and the stereotype that the media portrayed these politicians, men are deadbeat. They don't even know the definition of a deadbeat is. That's not even what a deadbeat is. And men don't want to be fathers just so they could keep that money in the cookie jar. And these baby mama tears continue to do it because it's a benefit for them and it's a controlling power. So, that's crazy. And the reason why I asked you, did you seek counsel? Because a lot of men think that going to seek counseling is, I guess, like a sissy way, which I disagree. I say get the help every way you see fit, even if it's seeking therapy. What's your thoughts on men that say, well, nah, man, we don't need to do all that, nah, that's weak, or that's sissy, what's your take on that?
Well, if you seek help, the person who you seek help from, first of all, help is going to come from the most unexpected places. The people who you think you could rely on, you can't. That's the reality.
That is true.
You're going to go to a trusted friend. He's either not going to get it, or he's going to think you're weak. And then there's going to be people who will listen to you, but you got to tell somebody. And even if they just listen, that's helpful. And I tell people all the time, if you're listening to someone who's in pain, listen to them, affirm them, help them cope. You might not have the answer for them, but let everybody know that problems are temporary. That's the key. I tell Ben this all the time. When you're going through a hard time, there's always two things you're going to feel. Number one, that you're the only one in the world going through it. And number two, that it's going to last forever. Both of those are lies. They're lies. They're untrue. They're false. All right. You are not the only one going through it. So what if there was I hate to say support group, because that sounds like a 70s and 80s thing of a bunch of men sitting in a circle crying. But if there was a group of men like on a Zoom call, you don't have to leave your house. It helps to leave your house. But what if a bunch of guys got together at a local pub or microbrewery or something like that, and you had a beer and some chicken wings, but you were all there to talk about what you're dealing with in your divorce and child support, and you set some basic rules and said, okay, we're going to talk one at a time. You can't interrupt the other person. You got to let so-and-so speak till he's finished, and then we go to the next person. And then don't give advice to anybody. Just encourage the man, but don't give advice. Just that alone is helpful. The second thing is you feel like it's never going to end. The reality is, storms come from clouds. And when you are in the midst of a storm, you're like, damn, it's dark out. It's raining sideways. There's thunder and lightning. This is rough. There's tree branches flying all over the place. And you've had storms like that where it's like, oh my God, I had one today. I thought there was going to be trees down and everything like that. But the reality is this. I'm looking outside right now and it's a sunny day. 2 hours ago, it looked like the heavens were going to burst open and there was going to be a flood. So the reality is when you're in the midst of your conflict, you think it's going to last forever. When you go to the Caribbean, if anyone's ever traveled to the Caribbean, one of the things that I always learned when I go to the Caribbean is if you don't like the weather, just wait 15 minutes because it's going to change anyways. The clouds move so fast. Yeah.
100%. 100%. I want to go ahead, Bruno.
So hang in there. It's not going to last forever. It feels like it. That's the deception of your pain and conflict. You feel like you're the only one going through it. and you feel like it's going to last forever. They're both lies. You're not the only one going through it, and it is temporary. So just wait it out, let the storm clouds pass, and things will get better. Just don't complicate stuff while you're in the midst of your pain. Let's just say you start drinking, and then you just get in a car and drive. Now you get arrested for drunk driving. Now
Right.
you're another problem removed away from the original problem. And then you get smart with a police officer. Now you're 3 problems removed away, because the police officer don't know what you've been going through. He just sees you as like an angry man that could possibly hurt him or be a danger, and you might have a weapon on you. So, he doesn't know that you just came home from court. He doesn't know that you've been told you can only see your kids once a month. He doesn't know that. He's treating you like an angry man. So learn self-management techniques. Don't complicate things by drinking or doing drugs, because your problems are going to be there the next day when you wake up. That's a big thing. Just don't complicate life. Life is already complicated with the crap that you're going through. Don't make it any harder on yourself. Make it easier. Learn self-management techniques. If you're a wall puncher, it would be easy for me to say, well, stop punching walls. You know what? Punch your bed.
Right.
Pillow, okay. If you're a door slammer, and you got that fast energy, like that, just like kind of like you just want to slam doors and drawers, then put that into some weightlifting or something. Okay, it's going to come out. It's going to come out one way or the other. It can be constructive or destructive.
Exactly, 100%. I want to give a shout out to Jack Me for the $10 donation. Still, Mr. Palmer, keep these baby mama tears on their tippy toes. Your platform is growing. Appreciate you, my brother. Also want to give a shout out to Emmett Trill for the $4.99 donation. George is one of the most underrated professors in the manosphere. He really needs a proper talk show. One of the best interviewers / MCs around. I agree to the fullest. Shout out to Emmett Trill. You know what? How was it I want to ask you this. How was it at the at Donovan Sharp's convention? It was in Vegas, right?
Yeah, it was great.
Man, I'm going next year.
Yeah.
Next year.
I've known Donovan for about 4 years now. And,
Okay.
Let me tell you some things about him. Number one, he's got the strongest handshake I've ever felt. I know a lot of guys that lift weights. I lift weights the whole bit. He's got the strongest grip I've ever felt in my life. That's the first thing that you notice when you meet him. It's like, damn, that's a handshake. Second thing is, when you're around him, he makes you feel like you're in his home. Come on in, sit down. Can I get you anything? Like when you invite someone to your house, you want, hey, can I get you something to drink? You hungry? Let me make you comfortable. He's like that. I knew about half the speakers there from just speaking around and doing other things. I've had a lot of those guys on my YouTube channel, and I've been on their YouTube channels, and I've had fights with some of those guys, and we've actually dealt with it. Oh yeah. Me and Coach Greg didn't always get along.
I gotta ask you, regarding what kind of disagreement?
Me and Coach Greg didn't get. And actually, I think he did a video where he talked shit about me.
Did he?
And someone.
What was the disagreement with Coach Greg got? And then even not even just him, but just people in the manosphere that disagree. Yeah. I did see, not with you, but others, that it was disagreements of the talking points and certain things. You ain't got to say who, but what was the list of disagreements?
I don't even remember, because it was like 2 years ago.
Okay.
And that I remember we both were speaking at another thing, and I see him come walking down the hall, and I'm just like, how's this going to work out now?
Right.
And I'm a handshaker kind of guy. And when I saw him, he recognized me. I recognized him. I put out my hand. He put out his hand. I said, screw the handshake, man. We gave each other a hug.
Okay.
Everything was cool at that point. And I'm a big fan of Greg.
Oh, yeah.
a fan and a friend. He's a fan and friend of mine, and he's a trusted brother right now. That's all I can say. And it's as if nothing ever happened. I don't even remember honestly, I don't even remember what the conflict was about. All I know is that we get along and we're happy to see each other when we do see each other.
That's great.
But
That's
the
great.
the event in Vegas, it was masculine without being profane, without being vulgar. It wasn't a hate women fest. Every man there loves women.
Of course.
You had your free agent guys, you had your MGTOW guys, you have your like players, you got all those kind of guys. But when we're all on stage, the only thing I see when I'm on stage is the audience. That's it. And that's why we're all there. We all have different ways of getting to the same destination.
Exactly.
But the reality is, when you are on stage speaking to a large group of men, all you see is the faces. And in those faces, I see pain, I see divorce, I see child support. Men don't go to men's conferences because they're feeling good.
Exactly. Yes.
People go to a men's conference like that to get empowered, to feel better, to gain strength, to network, to make friends. And that's what happens at an event like CME, Conference of Masculine Excellence. And it was just fantastic. And I met guys that, me and Hotep got into a thing 2 years ago.
I don't know too much about him. I heard about him at this convention. That's when I started looking him up and everything else. So y'all had some differences.
2 years ago, again, I don't even remember what those differences are. Now he's cool. I'm cool.
Well, that's good.
And I trust him. And men are going to have problems, but what really defines a man is how you solve those problems, not how you keep score and how you keep holding shit against one another. That doesn't make a man. What makes a man is, can you settle shit?
Exactly. And even on my platform, even even here, we men, even with the women that come on here that talk, let them say what they got to say. We got to be able to listen, whether you agree, disagree, but learn and take heed from that person. Yeah. Us reacting, we know different. Like I say, if us jumping, arguing and cussing each other out and not letting you speak your piece is no different from baby mama terrorists. There's no difference. And that's something that we cannot do. And as men, like you say, we have debates. And a lot of people like, y'all arguing. No, we loud, but we debating. We're men. And we shake hands and go on about our business. We'll see each other another day. They didn't destroy your house. They didn't hurt a loved one. So come on now. We cannot be in the same emotions that women women trace like that. I want to give a shout out to ATL Streets for the $10 cash app. He says, great show, bro. Appreciate you, my brother. You saw Minister Jap too, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I interviewed him in my studio. We had a good time.
He's a good brother. He's from Chicago.
There was a couple Chicago guys there. Actually, 3 guys from Chicago. Coach EO is from Chicago. He was there as well. He's a friend of mine.
What's his name?
So, Coach EO, Everett Overton.
I gotta look him out. I'm from Chicago too. I don't.
All right. He does a show with Donovan called The 6 or The 7. I forget, depending on how many guys are in it. Yeah, and that's on Sunday, and it's like a panel discussion with 6 or 7 guys, and it's fantastic. But yeah, Minister Jap, great guy.
Yeah,
makes me laugh. he makes me laugh. I don't know why. He just does. On Instagram, he just cracks me up. But as brutal as he can be sometimes, there's always like truth underneath that.
Exactly.
So,
shout out to Minister Jap.
and I don't feel he's doing that out of a bad heart or anything like that. I think he's got a good heart. And I had breakfast with him one morning, and I had him in the studio for a nice interview, and we got along great. It was good guy. No,
yeah, he is a good brother. Actually, him and I don't know if you up on O'Shea Duke Jackson. He him and Minister Jab is the reason why I came over here. Because when I started my platform, it was on Facebook, Fuck Child Support. And over there, I had 134,000 followers. And O'Shea interviewed me on YouTube for the first time. Then I've been on YouTube for I've been doing it for 5 years. They was like, both of them interviewed me. He was like, man, come over to YouTube. I think it'd be better opportunity and better awareness to be spread. I'm like, and he's right. I've been over for a year, and then they actually been growing and growing and growing. But yeah, Mr. Jap, I mean, he's controversial just like I'm controversial. And but he definitely believed that men need to come together. Men need to be thinkers, not reactors as well. Men need to understand who we deal with and who we need to stay away from. So yeah, you're gonna see a lot of controversial videos. And since we talking about controversy, I know you see my Instagram and my post. If you saw that, I know you seen my videos and my posts.
Yes. Every man who's going through it can relate to that.
Exactly.
Every single man.
Exactly. 100%. Okay. So you said you had him on your show too?
Yeah.
Mr. Jap, how was it?
It was good. It hasn't been released yet. It's being edited right now. And,
okay.
It was solid.
I was gonna say I looked on it. I ain't see. I wish I was gonna say I was just looking.
Yeah.
I don't see no Mr. Jap.
Yeah, it'll probably show up on first on Donovan's channel.
I understand.
Yeah. I literally when you go to these conferences, what it does is it levels the playing field, because you're going to see older men, younger men, black men, white men, purple men, every just fill in the blank kind of man. So you don't see race, you don't see age, you see men. And we eat together in a big giant ballroom. You know what I mean? You're walking through the buffet, getting your food, talk to a guy across the buffet that you never knew. You exchange phone numbers, whatever, you exchange YouTube channels and social media and stuff like that. You bump into another guy in a lounge, you know what I mean? You're having a cocktail, you're talking about stuff. The speakers at a conference like Donovan's conference, we don't just disappear. We hang out with the all the attendees, and we mix with everybody and have a good time. And we don't keep to ourselves at all.
That's great. Now that right there, that's great. Dr. Thunder, he was also there. I don't know if you heard of him. He told me he had a blast because the event was 3 days, right? 2 days, 3 days.
Yeah. It was. I mean, it was at the top hotel in Vegas. You don't get any better. You don't get any better than that. The hotel room was like an apartment, like a luxury apartment. It was just seriously. It was. I've stayed in a lot of hotels in my life. It's the best hotel I've ever stayed in my lifetime.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nice.
Okay. Well,
and that's not important. That was a nice feature, but I do understand that Donovan might be planning like a weekend retreat at like a mountain lodge with big fireplaces and fire pits, and during the day, we're shooting bow and arrow and at a rifle range, and rather than having a big stage with the speakers and the spotlight, the speakers might be around like a big bonfire, that kind of thing. And it's like we're outdoors.
That sounds good.
Oh, yeah. And
sounds good.
And food is like country style food, not hotel food. You know what I mean? It's not fancy stuff on a plate. It's, macaroni and cheese, and you know what I mean? Like,
I understand.
And fried chicken and big giant bowls of green beans and peas and carrots and mashed potatoes and like man food, gravy and all that kind of stuff, rather than like fancy hotel kind of stuff, So, and I think they're going to call it the CME retreat, if I'm not mistaken. That's one of the ideas that they're having, is to have it like at a mountain lodge.
Is that for next year or this year?
I'm not sure if it's going to be this year or next year. I don't have my finger on that pulse.
I understand.
I'm not sure.
I
Yeah.
understand. Because I asked him, will he be when he was on his live a month ago, I asked him, is he gonna keep it in Vegas or you gonna be traveling around? I have a brother that lives in Vegas. He's been out there for 20 years. I got family of 5 generations in Las Vegas, so I love to visit Vegas.
Okay.
But I was just wondering, like, you plan on, and I think he said he considered Florida or Texas at one point. He said he want to travel around. So I said, that's very interesting.
Well, the other thing is when you plan a conference, you don't want it just like in the middle of a city with nothing to do. You want it where people can come a few days before and mess around. Like if you have it near a beach, people can hang out on the beach for a couple of days, take a vacation before and after.
100%.
That kind of, or if you got a family, you bring your family and your family does stuff, in the area while you're attending the conference.
So you can't bring your family. I know they can't come, but you can bring the family. Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's a smart thing to do.
That is a very smart move. I want to give a shout out to Good Mother for the $5 donation. Thank you, Mr. Palmer, Mr. Bruno, for this discussion. The men coming together is kryptonite that will destroy the lies of the feminist ideology. 100%. 100%. 100%. I know somebody else said something. Once again, we got Red Pill Mike with a $5 donation. Minister Jap is like Samuel L. Jackson of the manosphere. When you speak to him, you're gonna get fed. Yep, facts, 100%. And that's why I tell people, you listen to Mr. Jab, then hey, where do you get a load of me? I want to give a shout out to Face Facts for the 1999 donation. Salute, Mr. Palmer, Mr. Bruno. I have firsthand experience with biased judges. Can't wait to tell my story. Continue doing the work. It's much needed. Appreciate you also, my brother, to the fullest. And he's out there in New York. That's the worstest family court system ever. Then California and everywhere else. That place, you on child support for 21 years. Whether you go to college, don't go to college, they don't give a damn. 21 years. Florida, do it, and New York. Them the 2 states I definitely know. Now, I want to talk about 21 Studios. Now, they got a conference in October, right? Will you be speaking?
No, I'm no longer associated with them.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Oh, I didn't know. That's why I tagged the name, because I thought
That's
you were still. Yeah.
That's all right.
Okay.
That's all right. No, there's a lot of good speakers there. I'm not associated with them.
Okay.
Coach Greg is going to be speaking there.
He told me. Yeah, he did tell me.
Yeah, I'm 100% behind every speaker that steps on that stage. Yeah.
Okay.
It's men helping men. I don't care what stage they are on, as long as they're helping men. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I do understand 100%. But I know you was a part of the 21 Studios.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. You thinking about going?
I'm probably going to be doing Donovan's event.
Oh, okay. If it's this, you know what? If you find out, please let me know, because if you're doing something this year, I said I was gonna go. I figured we're gonna do it next year. But if you're doing something and it's for everybody, I'm definitely gonna come for this one. I'm definitely gonna do this one. Okay, no, that's definitely good to know. And also, if you want me on your show, let me know. Where you at, I'll fly out there for that. I definitely will. But let me ask you this. So, all right, we talked about the court system. We talked about let's talk about men and self-improvement. I want to get back to that again. Like, I want to get back to what we said earlier. I want to elaborate on that. When you said that, again, you're dealing in the relationship or dealing with a situation that you know you should have been gone. What's your advice to tell men, because everything, you said it, and I also said too, that everything, it don't last forever. It's an end date to everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How would a man know when it's an end date to I'm just gonna say a relationship or even a marriage? What is your take on that? How would a man know the end date? Like, man, it's time for me to go. Ain't no sense me keep staying here, but I'm scared to leave. What's your take on that?
Well, I'm a firm believer that, if somebody cheats, it's over.
Oh, it's a wrap.
If other things are negotiable, but cheating is not, some people think you can overcome that.
Right.
I'm not of that school of thought. So
yeah, to each his own, but not me.
Yeah. If you want to take back someone who cheats, fine. Or if I want to cheat, I got to ask myself the question: why would I want to cheat? If I'm happy, why would I want to cheat? And if I want to cheat, then that obviously means that I'm not getting something out of this relationship. So, a good relationship I don't want to say it keeps you home, but at least it keeps
Right.
you logical, rational. You don't want to can somebody just because they mess up. I'm not talking about cheating though. People
Right.
can make other mistakes. Everything else is negotiable, but I think growth has to happen. If you have kids with somebody, I think it's important that you do what you can to at least have the appearance of peace for the kids. I think that's super important. Never get married because of kids. Never do never do a shotgun wedding ever.
Yeah, most definitely. Most
Yeah.
definitely. So let me ask. So you're not against marriage?
No.
You're not against marriage, okay? But you do agree with, hey, no shotgun wedding. You doing it because we got a kid. I'm doing it because I want to make a happy, happy wife, happy life bullshit. Or my mama said so. It's the right thing to do. You know how that. I got a son out of wedlock and all this stuff.
I like to say date long, marry slow, and if you're going to get divorced, divorce fast. Simple as that.
Yeah, well, in this day and age, there's so many men not even bother to get married. So I mean, I will say that I'm married, but a lot of men, and I tell them, hey, if you're gonna do it, make sure you get your T's crossed, your I's dotted. Make sure you get the paperwork. Make sure you have it on camera. Make sure you have her lawyer, your lawyer, and y'all do it on film, because they'll come back later and say, "Oh, I was forced." Nah, you on film, so you don't look scared of me, because they'll do anything to get that alimony and child support when they mad at you. So, okay.
Think with your head, not the bed.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah, definitely. So, do you counsel women as well?
I don't touch women with a 10-foot pole. No, thank you.
I gotta ask you anyway, but why is that?
Let me put it this way. Well, I wasn't going to go down this road. I remember.
I'm asking them questions.
I remember I said to. I remember saying to this one guy at this hospital where I worked, there was this very attractive nurse, and I said, and I used to call her Blondie.
Okay.
And I texted this one guy that I know, and I said, "What's up with Blondie?" And he texted back to me, said, "Bag of cats." And I thought that was the funniest thing in the world. You just picture a bag of cats, right? Just going crazy. And I thought, say no more, brother. Thank you. So, number one, a lot of men will reach out to me because they're interested in leaving a bad relationship. I know women that want me to coach them into leaving a relationship. Well, guess what? When their man finds out that a guy, me, was coaching them on how to leave the relationship or the marriage, then I become the bad guy. I am not interested in fixing a woman's problems. I'm sorry. Can't do that.
I ain't mad at you at all. Preference. Preference.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. Preference. What's your take on the feminist movement? And I'm talking about the third and fourth wave, because I mean, back in the day, of course, feminism was for equality and equal rights. I get that. Even back in the day of child support was because women weren't allowed to work and the man abandoned the family. I understood it was for the married woman. I understood that. But we talking about the third and fourth wave, where it seems like they trying to they already run the system, but control, take over men, get rid of masculinity, and they want you to be an alphabet, a blue pill, beta simp. So what's your take on the new feminist wave, third and fourth?
Not even remotely interested in it. If I catch any feminist vibes off of a woman, I want nothing to do with her. I really don't.
100%. 100%. Yeah, that's enough said with that one, and I agree. And everybody laughing. Hey, that shit real, man. Nobody want to affiliate with that, and that's why I tell the men, hey, separate yourselves, stay away from it. It ain't worth it, because feminist equals to some lying ass Me Too, to baby mama terrorism, child support, and everything else. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it at all. So, and you say you don't touch women with a 10-foot pole. Jack, we say 100% facts, man. Man. So, you say you cut hair part-time?
I do.
How's that going? That's a good trade. That's definitely a good trade.
I love it. If you learn how to cut hair, you always have money in your pocket. Always have, whether you work in a barber shop, a salon, or your garage, doesn't matter. You will always have money in your pocket. And wherever you go, you bring your clippers, a comb, scissors, and a spray bottle. Listen, let me put it this way. You could put me in an airplane, put a blindfold on me, a parachute on my back, drop me out. Not tell me where you drop me out. Wherever I land, by the end of that day, I'll be making money somehow, some way, cutting hair.
I heard that trade. I heard that to the fullest. So, what's your you got anything going on for this next couple months? Public speaking, anything, or conference?
Yeah, well, I do. I do a regular YouTube show.
Okay.
Very active on my YouTube channel.
You sure is. You sure is.
Yeah, and I have a daily newsletter that goes out, and it teaches people how to get unstuck. And they can get that daily newsletter by going to georgebruno.com and signing up for the newsletter. The most important thing that I could direct people to is the newsletter. And that's how I personally stay in touch with you. And that's how I personally connect with you, is through the newsletter. Like tonight at 8:00.
Is that right?
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Like tonight, I have a real important email going out. The newsletter tonight will be about the differences between men and women. And literally, that goes out at 8:00 tonight.
And I'm gonna ask you right now, since you said that, what is the difference between men and women?
Oh boy, you ready for this one?
Oh yeah.
Well, men naturally escalate everything. We want to ratchet up everything. Relationships, friendships, money, sex. It's built in us to naturally escalate. When I see a woman escalating, that's a masculine quality. That's a turnoff. I want nothing to do with her. Women are drawn naturally to men who escalate. So men who just don't do nothing, don't act, don't move on anything, including the woman, are going to lose the affection or attraction or the bond to that woman. If you say, your woman says, what do you want to do for dinner? And you go, I don't know. What do you want to do? And she says, I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
All right. That's the weakest way that a man can be. This is what a man does. He says, I made reservations for us, or we're going to go to such and such a restaurant. This is what I want you to wear. I'm going to pick you up at 7. Boom. Simple as that. Being decisive rather than leaving it all up to her. Other things where men are different. Men bring order to chaos. Always. Always. Women intentionally disrupt, and this is not a bad thing. They intentionally disrupt and create a little bit of chaos, otherwise known as a shit test, to weed out the men that can't bring order to chaos. Yeah.
Just like Jack me said, yep, closed mouth don't get fed. And that's what I'm saying, a lead. And and like you said, a lot the women that got too much masculinity, them the ones that want to be able to dictate you and control you, make you a blue pill robot, son husband, what Coach Greg call it. and they don't want no man to lead. And that's why I say we as men need to interview who we talk to thoroughly, because you want to eliminate the situation quickly as possible. Like you say, a 10-foot pole, you don't want to be around that. You know, when you allow that, oh, what do you want to do? And give them all the authority, and then you might as well give them your pants.
Right. So
yeah, no, that's a good newsletter. I got to subscribe to that. Have you thought about doing your own conference?
You know, it's crossed my mind. I have a my audience is not like a Red Pill or Manosphere kind of audience.
I understand.
I don't have that kind of audience. So if I did anything, my own conference would be kind of like a Renaissance Man conference.
Okay.
The speakers wouldn't be speaking on relationships. I would have one guy talking on how to make money, another guy talking about how to make the best investments, another guy would be talking about the joy of cooking. Another guy would talk about gardening. Another guy would talk about building your body. Another guy would talk, a wide variety of topics. Doesn't have to all be about relationships and women.
I understand. Well, let me ask you this: since you said that your platform is not about red pill, what is your platform about? Because I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first heard of you, I saw you on 21 Studio a long time ago, but I really took it to liking you, knowing more about you when you was on Coach Greg Adams. I assumed, and that's why I say we got to stop assuming. I assumed that you know the manosphere and you was red pill. Not saying you believe in the freezing lifestyle, but I figured if nothing else, you red pill. So what do you consider yourself as? You red pill, and also what is your audience? Who are they, and what do you? I know what you say, what you teach to them, but what is your audience like?
Yeah, I call my channel a lifestyle channel because there's something for everybody.
Okay.
So, sometimes I'll just have a show about coffee, how to make a good cup of coffee.
I saw that.
Who doesn't like a good cup of coffee? I did a show on how to tie a tie. A lot of young men don't know how to tie ties. My dad doesn't know how to tie. Just things like that. So I like to say it's fatherly wisdom, but I also I have about 94% men and 6% women. 6% women means I have about 13 to 14,000 women that follow me on a regular basis. And they constantly tell me, finally, a man talking about men issues without hating on women and can still keep his head about him and not get off on a hating rant. Personally, I am red-pilled. I am a MGTOW kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
I am open to being married, but I'm in no hurry. I mean, after almost 20 years of being a single man and being a playboy and all that stuff. But, and I used to talk about, how to find women and all these pickup kind of things. But there's nothing creepier than a gray hair old guy talking about pickup. I don't want to hear some grandpa talking about like pickup and sex and all that stuff like that. It's like listening to your parents talk about sex. You just don't want to hear it.
You don't want to hear that.
So my stuff goes in another direction. As far as my MGTOW stuff, I have gone my own way before anyone put a name to it. Simple as that. Coach Greg calls it free agent lifestyle. I love that. I just, for him to come up with that phrase is absolutely brilliant.
It is.
And of course, him being like a sports guy, it just makes sense. It just, the crossover of the phrase from sports to male-female relationships is great, being a free agent. But, if I get married again, which I'm open to marriage, I will be probably the world's first married MGTOW, which means that I will be independent, but still a loving, caring man.
Right.
Why would I ever want to? Number one, when you get married a second time, you get married for different reasons than you do for the first time you get married. It's just a whole different motivation. At this point in my life, I like the idea of companionship, and that's an important thing to me. But I'm also my own best companion as well. I talked about this in my in my email yesterday, where I talked about one-itis. You know, you're on your phone, you're swiping through women, and you know, you get a date for Friday night, and on Thursday she texts you and says, "I can't make it on Friday night." So what are you going to do? You going to get all depressed?
Nope.
No. What's
No.
going to happen? Well, number one, let's get real. If a woman cancels on you like that, that means an old boyfriend circled back. That's all that means. Right? She didn't get a run in her stocking. Sorry. Her car didn't get a flat tire. The reality is somebody else came up.
Right.
So
somebody more importance.
I don't take it personally. But so what am I going to do? Get back on the phone and start swiping and looking for another woman to fill that spot? Hell no. What I do is I think like, wow, I get a chance to stay home, smoke a cigar, drink a little bit of bourbon, and read a good book and get a good night's sleep. And the reason why is that I am my best option. Women aren't always my option. Sometimes I am my best option. Other times it's a woman. Other times it might be the gym. You know, if a woman cancels out on me, all right, I get to go to the gym tonight.
Yep.
You know, so realize that you are your best option. And I teach men that all the time, every single day, that something like that comes out of my mouth, that you are your best option. Exercise that option. Don't lose you in the process. I get these men that are always trying to get their girlfriend or wife back. And I say, no. Don't try to get her back. Get you back.
Yeah, I'm married now, and if I get divorced, I'm not. It's gonna be frigid lifestyle for me. I won't be getting remarried. I ain't gonna be thinking about remarried. Me personally, I consider myself red pill, but like you said, I was if that's the definition of red pill, I was a red pill before there was such thing as a red pill. When I hear about the high value man, that's just new age term to me.
Yes.
But I want to get back to what you said when you said that women say, "Thank God we got somebody who's not hating women." Now let me ask you this, because a lot of them consider a man speaking the truth as hate or anti, and by you telling your truth or just telling you, even me, I show statistics, I show facts, I show clips, I show the laws and everything else, and yet they say, "Oh, you hate women, you hate black women, you hate all women, you hate yourself, your mama black, and everything else." A lot of time when they say to me, when they say stuff like that to me, it's the fact that you just don't like the truth. Y'all know what I say.
You can't handle the truth.
So what's your take on that? Because a lot of time when they say finally it's not a guy who hate, no, it's a guy you just mad because guys are telling the truth, and even you telling the truth. It's just you just don't go off the deep end like me or Minister Chap. So what's your take on that?
First of all, never apologize. If you remain firm, you might end up gaining respect, because there's a lot of men who give in, they fold on that stuff. So
I'll be damned.
If you didn't do it, first of all, like in a relationship of some type, if you do something wrong, just own up to it. Just man up. And you know, if you did something stupid, you said something stupid, don't defend your own stupidity. It's
Right.
better just to, you know, hey, you know what? I realized that was dumb. I said something stupid. I'm sorry. I'll try not to have that happen again. You know, please forgive me. That's that.
Right.
So there's nothing wrong with a man doing that. That doesn't make you weak. But if you have to apologize for being a man.
Yes, sir. And that's why I tell. Well, I'm gonna press that button. They know what I'm gonna press in a second. I want to give a shout out to Marcus Frazier for the $10 donation. He said we got George Bruno giving that Law and Order mic dropping game. This is a hell of a show. Hashtag Bruno Palmer Industries, fire flame. Shout out to you, my brother. And to let everybody know, please, that's what I was doing. I joined your the website, so now I'll be able to get the news from you.
Yeah.
They're asking for your YouTube
My YouTube is just my name, George Bruno.
Yeah, George Bruno. Just type it in. So just like if you type Mr. Palmer, it's gonna pop right up.
I have probably, I don't know, there might be 2,000 videos on there.
Good.
I
watch.
I upload almost 7 days a week. There's something there for everybody. It's I like to call it fatherly wisdom.
Mm.
I like to call it street smarts. It's not pie in the sky. It's not philosophy. It's like some friends of mine say, they call it, keeping it real, or who is it? Coach EO and Steve Williams. They got a show, and I forget who the guys are, but I think it's called Real Game, No Theory, something like that.
I heard of Steve Williams.
Steve. Good guy. He's a good friend of mine.
Okay.
And it's interesting. A lot of us guys all know each other. We all have a different angle.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a different angle. And the problems come when we don't respect each other's angles.
Facts.
Simple as that.
Yeah, 100%. That's the unfortunate part, especially amongst men. You're gonna get that with some baby mama terrorist woman, but men, it doesn't make no sense, because even I tell my guys, you're not gonna agree with everything I say, but we all got the same goal. And even in the manosphere, even outside the manosphere, when it comes to men and masculinity, we all have the same goal. Everybody's in a different lane. I'm in my own lane. Minister Japan in his lane. You in your lane. Donovan Sharp's in his lane. Coach Greg Adams and everybody else. Everybody's in their own lane. That's why I don't understand why would it even be a feud in this type of manosphere. But I look around, and I do see it, and I don't want to be involved in that crap, because that's not what I'm on. Before we continue, I want to give a shout out to the people that's in here. We have 101 people watching, but I end up having 137 likes. And also I got a dislike. I got one dislike. So it might be a simple force, it might be a baby mama terrorist, who knows? But y'all know how I salute the dislikes, and I appreciate it, because without a dislike, I'd rather get a dislike than none at all. It goes somewhere in the algorithm and hopefully away from you. Shout out to you for the dislike.
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch.
Not at all. Not at all. So yes, Chief Cook up in the house. But yeah, what I'm gonna say. Now you say you're doing a live today. You say you're doing a live today, or you doing a YouTube today?
Well, I did a YouTube this morning. I uploaded this morning at about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to be releasing an email tonight at about 8 o'clock Eastern time. So, and that's on the differences between men and women philosophically, what that means. And I start to explain that a little bit. I can't get into it all in one email, but I do release an email every day, 7 days a week.
Yes, you can. Hey. Yeah. So, so you don't have set times. You just post, come on when you come on. Do you do lives?
Sometimes I do lives. Like I'll go live and just no agenda. I just see who shows up. Sometimes I put the StreamYard link out there and ask people just to join in, and I talk with strangers. Most of the time I do Q&A. When I go live, I just fire up a pipe or a cigar, and I have a little beverage and just answer questions all night.
I never thought about doing that. I think I need to start doing that question and ask, because I'm sure it's a lot of things they want to know, whether it's about me and other things.
Yeah.
And they do want to know about you, as well. So yeah, I'm not gonna hold you no long. This has been a great dialogue. And you actually surprised me, but then again, I'm not surprised, because you're a man, when it came down to child support and alienation, dealing with family court. It's just so unfortunate. Well, you know what? I got another question. What is your thoughts on when, I call it society, because the majority of society believe that child support is the right thing, is to take care of the kids, and if you're on child support, it's because you do not want to be a father, you abandon your family, or you ran from your responsibility. That stigma that men don't want to be fathers. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that's nonsense.
100%.
I think there are men. I think there are children out there that are blaming their dad for abandoning them when all he did was get kicked out or alienated by the mother.
Yeah, 100% facts. Because of course, if you go back, I think 2002, 2003, when Bill Clinton came out with the Deadbeat Act, and that right there, what is you $1,500 behind or 6 months behind, they can lock you up and possibly a felony and everything else, and that really took it over the top with that. But this the same Democrats that they say that's looking out for the better man. So but that's another story when it comes to politics.
Exactly.
But yeah, so but let me ask you this: why do you think we already know the government? We know the government is doing it because it's a money grab. All this is a money grab. Everything they got going on, they can fix just like that. They choose not to because of power and money. But why do you think that the majority of society believe in this stigma when it comes to child support and alienation amongst men?
Suck it up, man. You're a man. Suck it up.
Yeah.
Take the pain. Take the punches.
Right.
And the idea that a man can't grieve over not seeing his kids blows my mind, and that the judge's insensitivity to that issue blows my mind. Makes me angry. Makes me actually angry that a man just needs to shut up in court and just take his licks. Just take your punches. And the woman can sit there and cry and get the sympathy of the court. The violins start playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah. It's. First of all, fatherlessness is a huge problem, and people sit there and they blame this one or that one or this demographic or that demographic.
Right.
Someone's got to tell the truth. It might as well be me. A lot of fatherlessness is caused by judges and the courts.
Oh yeah. Them the salesmen.
Here you can have your kids. You can take them out for ice cream, and that's supposed to satisfy me. Right. Here you can take your kids to the park, and that's supposed to satisfy me. I'm supposed to be a father. One night, putting my kids to bed. The next night or the next month, I'm just a visitor. I'm no longer dad. I'm a visitor called dad. And just even the terminology is pretty messed up. We call it visitation. We don't even call it parenting. We call it visitation. Oh, that's my visitation weekend. They got us men brainwashed into thinking, someone says, oh, you want to do something this weekend? No, that's my visitation weekend. It's cold and it's cruel and it's weird, and we bought it hook, line, and sinker. And judges are the main salesmen of this fatherlessness. They say, well, we want what's in the best interest of the child.
You're right.
You hear that nonsense.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what's in the best interest of the child. To be with your dad. Period. If you're not going to be with your mom, be with your dad. Or if one time you slammed a door or you punched a wall or you did something stupid, who hasn't done anything stupid? That gets talked about in court. Next thing you know, they want supervised visitation. What the hell is that all about? And then you got some some 24-year-old social worker watching you as you're playing with your kids in the park.
Right.
That you paid $250 every Saturday for.
Right.
It's judges need to be held accountable. I don't know how that's going to start. I'm too old to start that. I think you young guys have to really pursue that some way. The judges are, I said it right in the beginning of this broadcast, judges are politicians. Their number one goal is to get reelected. That's it. And most judges are not like regular politicians. You know, a regular politician gets, like a congressman, that's a 2-year term. Judges get elected for 10-year terms. 10 years.
It's a long time.
Yes, that's a long time to keep making bad decisions and dividing families.
Long time, man.
And then when it comes to countywide courts, they don't get voted in. They just the election goes like this. Do you wish to retain this judge?
Yep.
You're not even going to vote for the judge. You want to retain him for another 10 years, another term of 10 years. And these judges, you know, they all make $175,000 to $200,000 a year by just sitting on a bench. And I know it can be a difficult job, but the reality is, you know, they get irritated by our stories. They get irritated by our plight. They don't want to hear us talk about how we love our kids. They don't want to hear it. So to me, the judges there needs to be judicial reform right from the get-go. I'd love to see a few judges go to jail. I would love to see some judges. Yeah. You know, I don't want to promote anything bad, but you know, I want judges to think twice before they make stupid decisions in dividing up families and, you know, elevating one person over another for no reason and listening to the bullshit that the lawyers bring.
100%. I want to give a shout out to MPI for the $1.99 donation. Appreciate you, my brother. Also, once again, want to give a shout out to Red Pill Mike for the $5 donation. He says, men who have a fundamental issue in dealing with their co-parent does not equate to not wanting to be a father. 100% facts. But also, I want to let you know this. Co-parent, that's a bullshit term that family court use, and these baby mama tears, we don't even use co-parent. It's just parenting, because to me, co is like control the other parent who's the non-custodial, or control on what you dictate and say when it comes to parenting time and being around your kids. And also, it's no different like you got you a co-host, which he just behind you, you know what I mean, instead of being together, you know, as a unit. So we don't even, over here, we don't use the term co-parent no more. That's just control the other parent, which usually the father. Shout out to you, my brother. And that's the sad part. Just because I don't fool with you, the mother, don't mean I shouldn't be around my kids. You know, the kids are separate. And that's why I tell people, when women say, well, he cheated, that's why I keep kidding. I said, if he cheated, you get divorced. If he cheats, you break up. If that's what you want to do. I said, but hurting the kids by keeping the father away, you don't love your kids. And I'd say that to the fullest. You don't love your kids because you just doing this unjustly as a power and a weapon and a shield and everything else you use them for. That's why I tell them these baby mama don't love their kids. And you the man hurt, the man suffer, but in due time that man will heal. And like you said, he gonna move on, he gonna wash his hands, and now your child is up the river for failure when they get older and when they get grown. But
a man can divorce the woman, but he doesn't divorce his kids.
Exactly. And who do the most divorces?
Exactly.
But they don't want to talk about that. And then you got this no-fault divorce. But I know how to do it. That's more money to the courts.
The reality is, if a woman feels that she can do better, she's got the state behind her.
Yep.
She's got the state behind her, 100%.
Yep.
She can leave. The state will force you to pay alimony, force you to pay child support. That pays her mortgage on a house, pays her rent, at least.
Yeah, and that's why I tell when these baby mama chase whine about he a deadbeat, he only pay $100. You don't want to take him to court, and I tell them all the time, Walmart is always hiring. I don't feel sorry for you.
I will say this: unless you were raped, you willingly spread your legs.
Yes.
He was good enough to make a baby with, but he's not good enough to, be around those kids.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
You let him enter you,
right,
and deposit seed in you. You let him do that. If you didn't let him, then it's rape. Then
That's different.
get him charged with rape. But the reality is, you willingly spread your legs for him. The consequences is a baby. You had a baby. He knew that. You knew that. Now let him see the kids. Period.
Right. And not only that, you got like 20,000 remedies to fix this problem, to not get pregnant. And my body, my choice. So if you choose to keep the baby, even though the man say he didn't want to have a baby, or if he say he want the baby and you say, hell no, I'm going to abort, your body, your choice. That's why I don't feel sorry for you. I don't. No, I don't. That's why they say, oh, it's good to have somebody that don't hate women. No, it ain't about hate. It's about telling the truth. And the thing is, again,
You can't handle the truth.
you know, see, I'm tired of us getting blamed for everything. We the reason why you got pregnant. We the reason why you chose single motherism. We the reason why you not working. We the reason why that you ain't you can't live your best life. You can't do the hot girl summer. All this shit when you had all these remedies to fix this problem before it even happened. You can't make. But these the ones with the degrees. These the educated ones with degrees. These the ones that went to college and got their masters, their PhDs at 50. And they say they smarter than thou. So yeah, but hey, I appreciate you coming on the platform, and I'm glad you told your story. I did not know you went through the same situation. You just never know, because you know all I see is what you're doing now. So of course I'm assuming like you ain't never had them problems, and that's why I say it's good that we as men that we talk, because you just don't know the person you're standing right next to went through it or going through it. And like you said, a lot of people think that I'm the only one going through it, so I don't want to talk about it.
Going to court against an ex or a baby mama is a great equalizer.
Yeah.
You could be working at McDonald's,
Yep.
get taken to court, and the guy sitting next to you is a multimillionaire, owns a sports team.
Yep.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
He gets dragged to court the same way you get dragged to court. It's the great equalizer.
That's one area you ain't got to worry about no discrimination, except gender bias. But I tell men this when they talk about when people say, well, you should have got married, you should did the right way. It's more married men who got divorced getting it worse than an unwedded guy. They get it worse.
Then you would have to not only pay child support, but you'd have to pay alimony as well.
Right. Right. So don't believe that. People say that too. Want to give a shout out to EC for the $5 cash app. Appreciate you, my brother, to the fullest. Why, Mr. Bruno? I'm not gonna hold you no longer. Oh, we could definitely do it again. You want me to come on your platform, travel or online? Doesn't make a difference. Give them. Do you have a TikTok?
I don't know.
You don't? Okay. I asked because I seen Donovan Sharp one. I didn't know he had one. I seen Coach Gray Adams with one. I didn't know he had one. Minister Jap and a couple other guys. I'm like, let me ask you first before I assume, because I didn't do TikTok for a long while. I thought it was a kid's thing. So like, let me ask. Give everybody your information, you know, your Instagram, your YouTube.
My Instagram is at George A. Bruno. My Facebook page is the George Bruno Experience. My YouTube channel is George Bruno. And the most important thing you can do is let me stay in touch with you by signing up for my daily newsletter, which is very helpful for everybody. I've never met a single person yet who doesn't like my newsletter. If you sign up for it now, in about another hour, the next issue is going out at 8 o'clock tonight. Sign up for my newsletter at georgebruno.com. I guarantee you will find something of value there. That's it.
Let me ask you a question now. When you have it going on, I'm asking about this because I'm thinking about trying to do the same thing, have automatic newsletter. What you do? Get everybody's emails to sign in, and then you send it, and then it goes to everybody in the in your newsletter.
The reason why I do that is, I probably should be close to 1 million followers. I've gotten throttled on YouTube. I'm stuck right now at 166,000.
Yeah.
I should have grown literally 10 times more than that.
Was you shadow banned?
Totally shadow banned. Totally.
They did that to me on Facebook.
I haven't grown by one subscriber in probably 2 to 3 months. Not a single one. But here's the thing. If you ever get canceled online, literally you get a chance to, if all my social media I get banned, I still get a chance to stay in touch with my audience. That's why you need to capture everybody's emails, because your information, you can't trust social media to deliver your information. You can't do it. And a message like what we're talking about tonight, it's eventually going to get banned somehow, some way. That's the reality. This is not popular. A lot of the social justice warriors and all these kind of people, they don't want to hear broadcasts like this. So you will get shadow banned or canceled or banned or something like that. The reality is that you need to take full responsibility for communicating with your audience. Do not trust social media. It's biased, 100% biased. It just doesn't, they don't like truth. And in the medieval times, truth tellers used to get their tongues pulled out. Now we just get shadow banned. So the reality is, take full responsibility for communicating with your audience. Get them to give you their email so you can write emails on a daily basis. I don't care if it's a little paragraph every day. They need to hear from you every day. And back in my training, when I was in graduate school, I remember in one course, it was a marriage and family counseling course, and it was teaching me how to be a good marriage and family counselor. And this one professor said, he said, gather data and give hope. And then when in doubt, gather data. So just never leave anyone's presence without giving them hope somehow, some way. When you take full responsibility for communicating with your audience, you are taking full responsibility to give them hope on a daily basis. You know, people might not be, like, for instance, if you get kicked off of social media, there's a bunch of people that are going to say, oh my God, where'd he go? I'm so used to listening to him every night. The reality is, you want to give hope to people. You want to be a hope channel. That's really what it's all about. You want to be a hope giver everywhere you go. And that's what your email is all about. Every time you send somebody an email, you're sending them hope.
I'm about to talk to you behind the scenes about that, because I want to definitely start doing the newsletter. Because one of my goals within the next year is to start doing public speaking at conferences, even if it's just 5 people. I don't care. I'm not just gonna just stand behind a computer and just depend on, like you say, social media that's gonna counsel me in due time or shadow ban me. Because I see you went through it. They did that to Coach Greg Adams actually on TikTok, took all his videos down, and Minister Jab Bent, he should have had over 500,000 subscribers. They got rid of a lot of his stuff. He had to start over and regroup. He way more than 50,000.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I definitely appreciate you coming on here. I hope you come on here again. And like I say, let me know if Donovan do something this year, because I was banking on next year. I'll definitely come out to that. I would definitely come out to that.
Oh, no doubt. And if you want to get into the speaking game, there's an audience for you. Never doubt yourself for 1 second. There's people that will listen to you. Mm-hmm. Your story will help somebody. Your story, just like me, it's not for everybody.
Right.
But there's someone out there who's going to get hope from what you have to say. Some people might not like my style. They might not like Coach Greg Adams' style.
Yeah.
But you might be able to relate to them and pull them out of a dark spot in their life. So I encourage you to pursue that, and do not listen. It doesn't matter. There's enough room out there for everybody.
Yes, it is.
There's enough room for everybody. So you can do it. There's like, I'm not afraid. Like, my goal, like, if I was going to help you out, I want to see you get to 100,000. I would love that. Your 100,000 does not threaten me at all.
Exactly.
You're just another player in the game that's helping your segment of the audience. And if you're helping men, helping families, what can I say? That's all I care about. I don't care. I don't care what you're. There are people who are going to criticize you. There are going to be people who don't care about your style or how you talk or this or that. It's like, oh, shut up, man. Just shut up. And the thing is this, like, you don't have to be Coach Greg. You don't have to be Donovan. You don't have to be Kevin Samuels. It's like everyone tries to emulate someone else. It's like if you just be yourself, create your own style, you will gather an audience that's drawn to your style. You're not going to be like a Coach Greg knockoff. You're not going to be a Kevin Samuels knockoff. You're not going to be an O'Shea knockoff. You know, you're not going to be what you don't want to do is be just like where do you live? Like, tell me, what city you in?
Oh, I'm in Chicago. Me and Jack, same area.
Okay. So you don't want to just be like the Chicago version of Coach Greg.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? You just want to be your own man, and people will automatically be drawn to you.
Yeah, and that's what I do. I tell people all the time. I'm in my own lane. People know I'm in my own lane. People's not gonna imitate what I do. So that I tell people my platform is slowly growing, and I'm glad it's going slowly because I don't want a bunch of fakes that's gonna jump over to the next person that blow up anyway. You know, so yeah, I definitely take heed to the words you say, and you're right, 100%. Be your own man, that and stick with what you believe in. See, that's the thing. We can't apologize for something we didn't do, and that I don't apologize for being truthful. So I would never do that. So yeah, Mr. Bruno, I appreciate talking to you. I will be talking to you again because I'm gonna learn about this newsletter thing. Did somebody send a cash? Oh no, I did already. So yeah, I definitely appreciate you tuning in. I'm honored. And hopefully you come on again. Let's definitely network.
Yeah. And also too, when you go to like a conference like CME, Conference of Masculine Excellence, one of the benefits of going to a conference like that is networking and meeting other content creators. And you will grow so much by hanging out, having a cup of coffee with Hotep, hanging out with Donovan, having a cocktail with him. And it just rubs off on the success, rubs off on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That's why I said I was on to the next one.
When you hang out with people who are positive and successful, not people who put anyone else down, do not hang out with people who put other people down at all. Only hang out with people who build. You want people who are in the construction business, not the destruction business or demolition business. The sky is the limit.
100%. That's what I should ask you this. That conference you went with Donovan, was that your first time going?
That was actually the first conference that Donovan did.
Oh, was it? I thought it was the second. Okay.
No, it's the first one. And I've known Donovan for 4 years, and he asked me if I would be part of it, and I said I would be honored to. Mm-hmm. And it was just an incredible success. It was a lot of fun. Oh,
I saw it. It.
Everything was good. And then just mixing with everybody is where the value is. You know, some people say, oh, they're all grifters. You hear this whole grifter thing, and I'm like,
I don't even know what it is.
Like people who are just trying to take money from other people. And I'm telling you what.
They pocket watching. That's all.
Yeah. So my thing is this. If I can go to a conference and come back a stronger man, it's worth every penny.
Yeah, no, that's good to know, because the problem is that's why I say that you got men and then you got so-called men. You got so-called men that claim to be men, but yet they act so feminine and stuff like that. They male feminists, and that's the worst thing. I think that's worse than the feminists. A male feminist, worried about what a man's money is and what he's doing. Anything to shut you down, and that's why I tell people on my platform that a baby mama test coming off for him. It's not just a black thing, white thing. It's a worldwide. It's a worldwide situation. Anywhere where it's feminism and child support, even in India, they have child support and alienated caste. Japan, all the European countries, certain parts of Africa, even in the third world country like Brazil. I tell people all the time. So we have to build our own fist, because the feminists was able to do it. The alphabet community was able to do it.
Oh,
we
yeah.
we should be able to do it as well. And the problem is we won't, because we're so segregated amongst men because of different faith, different race or colors and beliefs, different even political. We need to eliminate that and go to an enemy of an enemy is my friend, and that's how we need to do that. Put everything aside. So that's why I tell men, especially on here, separate yourself from these simple forces. Like you said, they weren't about what somebody's making, and they ain't about growth. They just come in the pocket watch. You stay away from negativity and nonsense.
Yeah. I probably another piece of advice that I would give you and anyone who's interested in this is collaborate with other, like what you did with me, asking me to be on. Ask Steve Williams, hey, I want you to come on my show. Steve Williams will come on your show. He's got a massive following. Good guy. I love him like a brother. He will come on your show. Ask Coach EO to be on your show.
I'm gonna reach out to him.
Yeah, they're all good guys. We all really enjoy each other's company and support each other. And everyone's got a different game. Everyone's got a whole different thing. So
yeah, but it seemed like we all got the same situations, whether if it's divorce or child support or even bad breakups, not sticking in relationships that we knew we shouldn't have stayed, but we stayed anyway, being comfortable or scared and all that. Yeah, everybody need to learn something. My dad used to tell me, you learn something new every day. You learn something new every day, and ain't nothing wrong with that. So
another thing you can do is obviously having like a collab like this, with like another person, but to start a panel discussion where you have 4 men, talking about an issue, and you just basically just take turns, giving your opinions about things, or 6 men or whatever, give a fancy name to it, make it every Tuesday night at 7, and people are going to just make it part of their week.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good idea.
Because what happens is you end up cross-promoting one another, and that just works so well.
And that's why I say if you ever want me to come on your live, or if you got something at your talk show, I will come out there. Traveling, that's not a problem.
I'd be happy to have you on.
Yeah, I run for child support every day, so me running out there to you is not a problem.
Sounds good.
Okay, all right, Mr. George Bruno, y'all, please, if you don't do nothing else, go to his website so he can send y'all daily messages and news. Please subscribe to his channel. Just type in George Bruno. For his Instagram, George A. Bruno. Facebook, what's the Facebook?
The George Bruno Experience.
George Bruno Experience. I did like it, but I didn't remember that by heart because Facebook shadow banned me. I got tired. I don't even really come on there, but I liked it anyway.
Yeah.
So them the 3 I get on. Do you have a Twitter?
I got banned off of Twitter in January.
Gave you the Donald Trump treatment, huh?
I'm telling you.
Yeah. I told you they don't like the truth, man.
They don't. And I had a lot of truth on there. I had 18,000 followers.
I wish, man. I ain't got that many followers on Twitter. What did you do to build your platform on Twitter? Now, everything else is okay, but Twitter,
I was just being myself. I was just what I do on all my other social media, but Twitter didn't like it. So,
Twitter, it's hard. People say it's a good way, but I do more. I got better. More. I'm almost at 10,000 on TikTok, and I just started it. But Twitter, that's one hard place, man. I'm gonna have to get my work up. But yeah, I definitely appreciate you. I definitely want to collab again, network. If Donovan Sharp got the conference this year or even next year, let me know. I'm definitely gonna come out to that.
No doubt.
Definitely.
No doubt. Sounds good.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm gonna send you as soon as I get off. I'm gonna send you a message. I'm gonna send you a message on Instagram. Well, actually, I got your email. I'll email you.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right. Appreciate you, sir, to the fullest.
All right. I appreciate you as well. Take care.
Thank you. All right, now. Bye-bye. Right. Man, this was a hell of a dialogue. And I'm going to tell y'all what I said a while back. And I'm going to tell y'all what I always tell y'all over and over and over because I want to stick to y'all head. A baby mama terror come in all forms. And when it comes to family court, child support, when it comes to these judges, when it comes to government daddy, no man is exempt. And like I said before, the reason why I start going more into the red pill environment, the freedom lifestyle environment, the dating coaches and stuff like that, the MGTOW, because the majority of these men join these fashions because they went through some type of bad divorce or child support or both, alienation altogether. And y'all need to realize that the people that y'all talk to, y'all look up to, all of them ain't gonna tell you what they had going on, that depth. Some say I got divorced, I was married. Some say I went through child support. But you just don't know who went through this shit unless you ask, unless you bring it up and talk. You'll be going to your church. If you go to your church, you Israelite, Islam, you out there, you praising the Lord or whatever. But then you mention child support, then you'll have like 3 or 4 people right next to you that you've been talking, getting knowledge and spiritual knowledge to tell you, yeah, I went through it. Yeah, I'm currently going through it. Yeah, I went through that 20 years ago. You just don't know. That's why I say as men, we have to definitely speak up, because you never know. Why you thinking that you all alone, you're really not. That's why I say we have to keep them veins cold. We have to be thinkers and not reacting. We definitely got to wash our hands and move on if need be. We have to tell our story. Who would have thought? George Bruno, people who been watching him for years. I didn't know that. I didn't even think to ask him that beforehand. But when he mentioned that divorce, I said, let me ask about child support. Okay, child support, let me ask him about manipulated kids. Okay, manipulated kids, let me talk about the alienation. And he said the same shit that a lot of y'all say that y'all went through, going through. This shit is real. So when these baby mama terrorists and these fake ass feminists come telling you that you didn't want to be a father, that the course is fair, that, oh, you just didn't want to be a father, and the 10-year-olds allowed to talk back to the father and disrespect and everything else, they lying to you. They've been lying to you. And I'm going to tell you once again, just like Malcolm X said,
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled.
Yeah, see, and this been going on for many years before you even got on child support, before we was born and everything else. So when these baby mama terrorists sit back and try to shame you and you speak hate. Nah, I'm speaking truth, and you just mad because the jig is up, like I told y'all. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna keep doing what I do. I appreciate George Bruno for coming on here. I didn't think he was gonna come on that quick, but I appreciate it. And like you say, that's what I'm talking about. Man, got over 100,000 subscribers, but he been watching me. He see what I do. You just never know who watch you. They like what they like to see what you do. Like you say, you build and grow. You work with the people that want to work with you, the ones that don't. Hey man, keep moving. Watch your hands move on even with that. So yeah, you can't make this shit up. And shout out to everybody who tuned in for the first time. Hope y'all subscribe. But all I'm trying to do is build a brotherhood, change the laws of your mind in order to get yourself in order mentally, physically, and spiritually, even financially. If you want to make change and become MGTOW, red pill, you want to be living a fragile lifestyle, you have to fix yourself first, and you have to do the core factor of all them things is change the laws of your mind and take accountability. That's number one. So I'm not gonna hold y'all no longer. I didn't want to talk his head off, you know what I'm saying, for 3 hours. You know how I get down, because I know you got other stuff to do, and I appreciate him to the fullest, and know this won't be the last time. And hopefully I get other brothers from all different manospheres to come on here. Well, like I said, I did get one dislike. I'm not surprised, you know how that go. But I did get 161 likes, and this shit is real. And shout out to my boy Ray on here. He said he just started his channel. Yeah, if you want to start your channel or podcast, if you just posting on your social media, doing whatever works for you, just tell your story and get it out here, because this shit is real. I'm not gonna throw you under the bus. That's for weak. Direct men. Yeah, 100%. You shouldn't throw nobody under the bus. If you don't like what the person do, if it ain't no fuck shit, then just go somewhere else. Now, if you're doing fuck shit, then that's a different story. Ebony and Ivory, which I've been seeing you comment all day, and I appreciate you. I typically do not comment here. I like Mr. Palmer. I just listen. Have a good day. I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all to the fullest. 100%. Even the ones that come in here, they say, I don't agree with everything he say. But one thing about it, I let y'all speak. I let y'all say y'all piece, and we go from there. I'm not just going to cut you off and call your name and try to deflect with some shame attack. That's what baby mama terrorists do, So I'm not going to hold y'all no longer. I will be on at my normal time tomorrow at 1 o'clock. This is why I didn't do the part 2 with the baby mama terrorists talking about that petition for Kevin Sanders. We're gonna do that tomorrow, but because when he said he was gonna do it today, opportunity, you know. And y'all ain't seen none of you. I've been reaching out to quite a few people on the I'm about to get back on the couch. Yeah, I'm about to get back on this couch. You damn right. You know how I get down. Al Bundy style. So y'all be safe, y'all be easy. And like I said, take heed to what y'all heard today. You know what I mean? Yeah, this channel, this channel is gonna blow up. It's gonna blow up slowly but surely. And I only got 4,800 subscribers and I already went viral in the video. Oh man, you ain't seen shit yet. That's why I ain't worried about these sideline hating niggas. That's why I ain't worried about and you know what? These civil forces are starting to be worse than the baby mama terrorists. To be honest with you. Because them the ones pocket watching the most. Baby mama terrorists is gonna say, oh, you hate women, you mad, you miserable, and you bitter, and you don't want to pay child support. That comes with the territory. So but it's definitely all good. And once again, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Understand where I'm coming from and sticking by me to the fullest. Because you know, a lot of people get scared when they see your name under Mr. Palmer. Oh, I ain't with dude. You know what I mean? So I appreciate y'all to the fullest. I got you, Noble. World Cloud, I'm gonna hit you as soon as I get off. All right, man. Well, y'all be safe. Y'all be easy. Tomorrow, so far, it'll be 1:00 p.m. Central Time, like I always do. We're gonna do the part 2, unless something like a breaking news or something more important. Because we always talk about these baby mama terrorists that trying to pocket watch, get somebody off the social media. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm Mr. Palmer, and this conversation is over. Fuck child support. Peace.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
Court's now adjourned. Baby mama terrorists. BMT. It's my baby mama. I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coke. It's my baby mama. She be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies and doing setups. It's my baby mama. I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coke. It's my baby mama. She be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies and doing setups. It's my baby mama. I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coke. It's my baby mama. She be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies and doing setups. It's my baby mama. I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coke. It's my baby mama. She be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies and doing setups. Riding around, try to play the role, is innocent with an evil soul. In public, wearing fake hellos, behind closed doors, she rock them horns. I moved on, she wanna teach me a lesson. Can't see my kids, man, I'm stressing. Couldn't see my son to give me his present. She got married to teach me a lesson. Telling people she did nothing wrong, knowing that well since I moved on. Thought that money would keep me home. Hell no, bitch, I'm gone. I don't know what you lost your mind. Try to say my name, but I know your kind. Saying I'm a deadbeat, bitch, you lying. Fighting in court, man, I'm trying to be a father to my kids. She focus on the wrong shit, worried about another being instead of us co-parenting. Put my kids in grown folks' business, telling them lies, bitch, you wicked. Split personality, oh yeah, you twisted. Never thought I'd go through this. It's my baby mama. I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coke. It's my baby mama. She be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies and doing setups. It's my baby mama. I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coke. It's my baby mama. She be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies and doing setups. It's my baby mama. I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coke. It's my baby mama. She be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies and doing setups. It's my baby mama. I'm on child support. Can't see my kids, so I stay in coke. It's my baby mama. She be riding Lexus, finding sugar daddies and doing setups.
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch. I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch. Kiss my ass, you don't like it.